A few weeks ago, I told a friend of mine that I needed a haircut, and I asked him for a recommendation. He gave me one with a warning. It's not cheap. Well, that's all right, I thought. I used to get $10 haircuts, now I splurge on $40 haircuts. It can't be much more than that. But when I asked him how much it costs, he said $250 plus $60 for a tip. What? $310 for a men's haircut? It's about time you invested in yourself. So I made an appointment immediately. I'm Derek Halpern, and you're watching Social Triggers TV, the place where entrepreneurs and executives turn to learn how to get ahead in business and life. And since I specialize in training people in the art of persuasion, I had to see how someone could charge so much for a men's haircut and get away with it. And not only did I get an awesome haircut, but I learned a thing or two about charging more for your products and services, giving your customers a luxury experience, and convincing them to come back for more. I reveal everything in this video. Let me walk you through the whole experience, and after, I'm gonna share the key takeaways. So before I showed up for my haircut, I did some research and discovered that this hairstylist has been written up in major fashion magazines and worked on runway shows for both men and women. He also trained under one of the world-renowned hairstylists for years before he spread his own wings. The dude has a pedigree and the experience. Now, I wondered if I could show up in my typical attire, mesh shorts and a stained t-shirt. But I opted to wear jeans, instead thinking that if I showed up looking like I rolled out of bed, they wouldn't let me in the door. I just imagined that there'd be like some bouncer at the front being like, "Not today," if I showed up in mesh shorts, but that didn't happen. Anyway, when I entered the studio, not the barbershop, not the salon, but the hair studio, I saw a beautiful, rustic interior, decorated with one-of-a-kind furniture, Edison light bulbs hanging from the ceiling, and adorable French bulldog running around. It was great. I gave them my name, and they walked me over to the bathroom. "Your robe is in there, put that on." Robe? Do I take my clothes off to put the robe on? I've never worn a robe for a haircut before. The guy kinda actually looked at me funny, goes, "Yeah, if you're comfortable doing it." I put on the robe, I got my hair washed, and I started telling the stylist what I wanted. He took some time to listen, but made some suggestions. The perfect hairstyle depends on the shape of your jawline, how long your neck is, and how your hair is trained. And he went on. He knew what he was talking about and convinced me to let him do his thing. He spent 45 minutes doing the fade by hand with nothing but scissors. I couldn't help but notice his gold comb. Everyone else usually uses a buzzer and a plastic comb. This dude had a gold comb and man-sized scissors. As he was finishing up, he put some product in my hair, saying that he wanted to see how my hair fell. He rinsed the product out and went to work on the top of my head. Another 45 minutes later, I was done. He walked me through step by step what I needed to do to make my haircut stay like this. He said I needed a blow dryer, product, a brush. I've never had a brush in my entire life, but now apparently I need a brush. But there was more. He said every haircut here comes with a complimentary cleanup. So if you get a haircut once a month, we recommend you come back in 2 weeks and we'll clean you up for free. I scheduled my cleanup and I was done. So what are some of the key takeaways from this lavish experience? Let's break it down. First, it's not a barbershop. When you think barbershop, you think $20 haircuts. He elevates his business by calling it a studio. This means he can charge whatever he wants because I'm not bringing any preconceived notions to the table. This is smart marketing, and I've done something similar before myself. When I launched the Social Triggers Insider podcast, I purposely never called it a podcast because I wanted it to feel better than some free thing people download on the web. Instead, I called it a masterclass. So if you want to charge higher prices for your services, avoid generic terminology and use something that stands out. Doing this elevates your product or service and positions you as someone who offers a luxury experience. Second, people can charge whatever they want for their services if they deliver the service, the experience, and more important, the vision. He listened to what I had to say about what I wanted in a haircut, but ultimately, he convinced me that his vision for my hair was better. The dude is an expert and he isn't afraid to show it. So let's say you're a web designer. You could just do exactly what your client wants you to do, at which point you're a monkey with a mouse pad. Or you could make strategic recommendations that you believe are better than what your client is asking for. You could recommend things your client doesn't even know exists yet. You could bring the service, the experience, and the vision. And what will happen? You won't be a web designer. You'll be a creative director. Who gets paid more? Third, everything about this experience felt different than the usual. The interior was immaculate. I didn't have to wait. I was ushered to the back to wear a robe. A robe! His tools were gold. Everything felt luxurious. And if you can make your service luxurious, if you can make your customers feel different, you'll be able to charge higher prices. For example, with all of my online training courses, customer service is a top priority. If people have problems with their accounts, we get it fixed up as soon as possible. If they have questions, my support team answers it. If my support team can't answer it, I'll answer it myself. Why? Yes, it's the right thing to do, but also it creates a better experience for the customer. A bad customer experience results in a customer never buying from you again. A great customer experience will keep them coming back for more. So in your business, take a look at what's considered the industry standard and do better. If the typical response time is 48 hours, answer yours in 12. Do anything that positions you above the rest and you'll earn it. Finally, you need to be great at what you do. That means you've got to study your craft and continuously hone your skills. This guy knew what he was doing, and the haircut was amazing. But it wasn't just a haircut. It was a learning experience. I got a great cut, but I also learned a lot about my hair. Stuff that I've never heard before, and stuff that I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. That means not only do you need to deliver your service, you also need to educate your customers on what they can do without you. I know it's counterintuitive, but it works. And that's it for today. If you like this video, here's what I want you to do. First, subscribe to this channel by clicking the little box. Also, hop on the newsletter where you can get exclusive training material I only share with my newsletter. But more important, I want you to tell me about a time when you splurged on something crazy like a $310 haircut. How was it? Was the experience different? What do you remember most about that experience? Leave a comment below this video. Listen, you don't have to say it nice, just be like, hey man, your pits are disgusting.